Sold $829.
The Cancelleri brothers said they were here to buy the top-priced horses, the best they could find, and hip number 203, Donato Hanover's brother, Detour Hanover, was certainly something special. A bidding war between John and Tom Cancelleri and Staff and Lynn's group. They raised each other $50,000 at a time, then $25,000 at a time. The colt ends up selling for a record $825,000. John and Tom Cancelleri do it again in one of the most exhilarating and exciting moments in Harrisburg history. And today there's still plenty of pedigree and probably plenty of value in the catalog as well.
I think so too. I think a lot of times you get really good horses that can slip through the cracks at a sale. Remember Vivid Photo in 2003 won his 853, won the Hambo a couple years later. Western Hanover himself back in 1990 won his 232. 2 years later was a top racehorse and the leading sire of all time. And even horses like Gallo, Blue Chip, and Bunny Lake kind of slipped through the cracks.
Time for us now to work the floor and catch up with some of the prime-time players for their thoughts on the Tuesday session.
It was great to see Bill O'Donnell at the sale. Now this was clearly the Legends part of the program, and who better to start off with than the Magic Man. Bill, when you look at the catalog, you have a unique perspective. The familiarity with some of the families you know, you've driven the horses and stuff. Does that give a veteran like yourself a little bit of an edge when looking at yearlings?
Never has for me, I don't think, but you know, I'd like to think that I'd like to buy a horse that has decent, good breeding with a little bit of conformation defect rather than a good-looking one with no breeding. So I don't know. You get conflicted sometime, and yeah, families make a big difference. And you always try. I do try to buy the yearling that looked like the mother or the father. You know, like that has the family trait. And a couple I miss that way, but you know, at least you have a perspective and you have a plan. If you don't have a plan, what's the sense of coming? But that's what I like to do, is try to find a colt that looks like his mother, or a filly looks like his mother or father.
And Ontario has a pretty good sire stake system up there. A lot of people, even people who aren't from there, like to race on that system up there.
Absolutely. We have a lot of American horses that come up there every year that you know, they'll buy right here or buy in Kentucky, and or even raise now. They have their own mares, and it works good for everybody.
And what's Bill O'Donnell looking for at Harrisburg?
I'm looking for a pacing colt and a trotting colt, not in that order necessarily. The Angus Halls, the Cadabras, or you know, that's our two hottest breeds. Majestic Sun, whatever they have. I mean, it's something that I've raced in the family. I've been up there 10 years now, and you know, I'll look around for some of the mares and their babies.
Bill O'Donnell, one of the legends of the game. Thanks for stopping by, Bill.
Okay, thanks, Bud.
Perhaps one of the best ways to increase awareness of the sport of harness racing is to figure out a new way to frame our big events and turn them from one-night stands into a major production. Mike Kimmelman has some ideas. It's hard to pull every faction of the industry together. Do you think you have a shot at getting that accomplished in New York, turning the Night of Champions into a 3 or 4 day multi-date event?
I don't think the Night of Champions will work that way because of the time of year that it is. But I think the races, you know, if we can stack enough races together, and you know, it's still on the chalkboard, so to speak, but if we can get something done around the state fair like that used to be, I think we could do that. And then who knows, maybe in the outlying years, maybe we can get something done around Saratoga, which is a kind of fun place to be during the late summer, during the thoroughbred meet there. The town's got a great buzz to it. They do a great job at that track. And I think all of our tracks, you know, in New York are always looking for ways to improve the customer experience. And they're all located in slightly different places, and we have to feed off what each track has to offer.
Camaraderie and fun. Sometimes we lose sight. That's what harness racing is all about. It becomes too much of a business. If we can get the fun back involved, it benefits everybody.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. Making more money doesn't make it less fun. So if we can combine them, that's the best way to go.
Hey, John McDermott is here. Now, he doesn't normally raise his hand for the marquee type of horses, but always seems to find a needle in the haystack. So you can get a nice bargain here. Maybe not the first day, but you certainly can get one somewhere in there, right?
You can get them the first day too. You just got to work really hard, and you can't not look at anything. You got to look at everything you have an interest in, and it takes a long, long time to get it right, and hope you find the right one.
How much time does John McDermott spend on that catalog preparing for the sale?
Just reading the catalog and videos, I spend at least 100 hours on it, and then I'll come here and I'll look at upwards around 70 horses, and it gets a little. Last night I slept for 13 hours, and it felt great. It's mind-blowing how much time you really put into a sale.
And I know you had a very favorite trotter a couple years ago by the name of Hurricane Billy G.
Yeah,
Boy, I like that guy.
Yeah.
How do you wind up with a trotter like that? And do you prefer trotters or pacers?
I prefer good horses. I'll take a trotter or a pacer. Hurricane Billy G wasn't just a great horse on the track. He was the most wonderful animal that ever lived. And he's the one that's really pushed my desire to find great horses, because he was such a pleasure to be around. And in the last few years, we got Hurricane Big George and now Hurricane King Cole this year. And I've been really blessed. Last year, I picked 2 horses out of the Harrisburg sale. One was the the New Jersey Trotting Filly champion, and the other one was Hurricane King Cole. And it's been super. I've had a good run of times here.
All right, John McDermott, continued good success here at Harrisburg, and maybe you can do it again.
Hopefully.
The Bow River 14-karat gold fine jewelry collection has some of the most unique custom equine jewelry designs. With the master craftsmanship of our designers, we provide a piece of jewelry you'll treasure for years to come. We use state-of-the-art equipment, hand finishing, and quality stones to give you the craftsmanship in a piece of jewelry that you will enjoy. Our designs seek to capture the world of horses and the relationship they have with their owners. Wearing one of these unique designs will reflect this.
Hi, I'm Art from Bow River. Come back and look at our new collection we have for this season. We're located in the McClay Street lobby. When you come back to look at our jewelry, make sure you sign up for a $500 gift certificate, which we'll be giving away on Saturday.
Joining us now is James Friday Dean, the trainer of Big Jim. And Friday, first of all, Big Jim probably had to be the horse of a lifetime.
Yeah, he was pretty special. I mean, the race and the top races that he raced in, and he raced well, and he was competitive, and you know you were going to get a good kick at the cat with him every start.
Now his 2-year-old season, fantastic, won the Breeders' Crown, set the world record in the Governor's Cup. His 3-year-old season was actually pretty good, but he just wasn't able to duplicate that 2-year-old form.
Yeah, it's tough on some of them. You know, they got to go that kind of speed when they're younger, and there's a lot of wear and tear on them, and you know, you hope they come back as good or better as 3-year-olds, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't.
Did you have to nurse him through some aches and pains this year? Did he constantly have problems?
Yeah, I think he even had some issues late in his 2-year-old year. I mean, it wasn't much we could do for him, and you know, we did what we could for the horse, and he had to race with those aches and pains. I mean, some nights warming up, he wasn't very pretty to watch warming up, and he still went out and win races. So.
Well, Big Jim, the horse of a lifetime, but you're here at Harrisburg looking for that second horse of a lifetime. What do you have your eye on here?
Oh, well, we got our eye on a few of them, you know. Actually looking for some fillies maybe that could be, you know, for Big Jim down the road, breeding wise, and then we're going to look at a couple colts too, just to try and find another needle in the haystack.
Well, from a racetrack's point of view, I personally want to thank you and owner Jim Carr. You guys were there for us when you won. You were there for us when you were defeated, too. You handled yourselves with class all year long. Greatly appreciated. I'm glad you had the opportunity to play at that top level.
Oh, I appreciate it, and you guys at the Meadowlands were fantastic to us, and really enjoyed racing there.
Friday Dean, the trainer of world champion Big Jim.
Caught up with Casey Coleman, and of course Casey Coleman is still glowing from that Breeders' Crown stretch drive with Better Than Cheddar. She is a major player here at Harrisburg. You know, there's a great program up in Ontario too. Not just the residents up there are racing up there, but people down here are racing in that program.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a great. There's not a better program in my mind. Like, it's just absolutely phenomenal. Like, you can't get. It's low stakes payments, and you race for great money.
But you're, a trainer. You have to look at all the jurisdictions. There's a lot of Pennsylvania breds. Almost 41% of the yearlings in the first 4 days are bred in Pennsylvania. You're looking there too.
Oh, for sure. I look at everything. Like, I know Jersey's not in a good state, but I love Western Ideals. I like Rock and Roll Hanovers. I'm looking for that world champion home run. I'm just not looking for a sire stakes horse. Obviously, it doesn't always happen, but with me, every horse I buy, I'm trying to hit a home run.
But it seems like it is tough to get yourself a racehorse nowadays with the great purses. Maybe people aren't realistic with their selling prices. So maybe if the yearling doesn't work out as a stakes horse, you have yourself a racehorse.
Oh, that's for sure. Like, I used to be a buyer also, and right now, like, horses that I used to be able to buy for, say, $60,000, people now want $150,000, $200,000. I don't blame them. They're racing for huge money, but it's so hard to buy them now, and the money's just too much to buy them.
How about videos? You will get a chance to look at any videos?
I look at every video on every horse, pretty much. I like to see them live in the field more than the video, because obviously it's not too often you're going to see a bad video. They're going to cut those parts out. But it shows you a lot how the horse travels, if they're coming in, if they're paddling out. You see a lot in the video, but I'd rather see them in the field.
It's hard to find the perfect horse, like the perfect person, but conformation, are there things you can overlook?
No, conformation on me, I'd rather great conformation and a little less on the breeding. A lot of people are a little different. They'd rather stronger breeding and take the conformation flaws. I want to get a perfect horse as I can get, and if it's a little weaker breeding, I'd rather go that way.
It's always fun to own a good racehorse, but it can be even more fun if you have plenty of partners in the venture to share it with as well, and that's worked out very well over the past couple years for trainer Josh Green. One of the cool things about you train for VIP Stables, that internet partnership sort of deal. That's pretty cool to have like 50 guys own a racehorse and all enjoy it.
Yeah, it's been really great for us. Great group of guys. Tom Janes is who I primarily deal with, and been a great guy and does a great job.
Now, do a lot of the owners come around to the barn to see the horses and get involved and that sort of thing?
They do, yeah. With our barn, it's very hands-on. The owners come, basically whenever they want to come, they're free to come and watch their horses.
And my guess is after they visit the barn and get to perhaps jog a little bit or whatever, they get even more involved and buy more horses, so that's beneficial to you too.
We have had some owners come in and jog their horses, and it's just a nice thing that they do.
Yeah, well, that is a good thing, and it's a great way to get new owners involved in the sport because the risk is minimized. You can own 3% of a horse, or a third of 3% of a horse, or whatever they want to do. Yet you still feel when that horse wins like it's your horse.
Right. Yep. It's a great service that they provide, and they've just been very good for the business.
Okay, I have to ask you about one of my favorite horses, Summer Camp. Absolutely iron tough. He's a legitimate top-level free-for-aller, but could be even better if his physical problems didn't bother him.
He's just a nice horse. He actually just won his last start yesterday there at Chester in 49 and a piece. He's one of our barn favorites. He definitely gets max out of his ability. Definitely has had some soundness issues. We're hoping he seems to be a lot better this year as far as soundness. Hopefully he'll just continue to get better.
And what surprises me, he can get around a smaller track too if he has to.
He can. He's just he's the perfect horse as far as just a blue collar. Goes at it hard every week.
And makes a lot of money for you too.
He's been very good.
Josh Green, thanks for joining us. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Hey, it was 12 years ago that Wendy Spring raised her hand and said yes to Bunny Lake. 2 years afterwards, she became the 3-year-old filly and horse of the year in harness racing. Wendy is back 12 years later to tempt fate to see if lightning can strike twice in the exact same spot. Did you like pacing fillies before you raised your hand for Bunny Lake, or since?
Yes. No.
Or both?
Way before, yes.
Okay.
We have show horses too home, and I've always liked the fillies.
So you don't raise your hand a lot, so getting Bunny Lake is a pretty big deal. When considering the numbers, you only raised your hand a few times that year, right?
Exactly, and not only that, but I told my husband not to go to the 37,000. I was ready to bop out at around 32, but so it's kind of like a partnership with us.
So you can raise your hand here once or twice and actually have a horse of the year. That's about as cool as it gets.
Yes, exactly.
But now for an encore, you had Stonebridge Regal was a nice horse. It's tough to do it again, but you've had a lot of nice race horses since.
Oh, Stonebridge Regal was hysterical because my husband was so put out that he didn't get the final bid on him that when he realized somebody was going to have him no matter what, he was in a funk all day long. And I finally said to him at dinner, look, why don't you just go see if you can buy a quarter of the horse, please, and let's try to save the weekend. And so finally he did, and that all worked out for the best.
Worked out well, and he was
Yep.
right there with some of
Yep.
the best colts racing
Yep.
that year.
Yep.
Now, what about for people who aren't that familiar with Bunny Lake? She raced not just as the 3-year-old horse of the year, she raced later on too, and was took her mark a couple of years after she was horse of the year.
Yeah, she took her mark like 2 weekends in a row up in Canada. It must have been Woodbine. It was the fall.
I think Luke Ouellette drove.
Yep, Luke Willett drove her, and we got the great big picture in the law office. It's a huge picture of her, and it was just phenomenal. We loved the age pacing mare ranks.
Okay, but
They're difficult.
so you're looking at stakes horses, or are you looking at like a horse that you can have for 5 or 6 years type thing? That's hard to find too.
Yeah, because they don't stay sound that long,
Yeah.
so we do the best that we can, you know, but we don't push them too much as a 2- and 3-year-old. We just don't believe in that.
I didn't hear the word trotter at all in the conversation. Do we not deal with trotters at all?
Well, we raise Cold Winter, and he's made some pretty good money, but it's not our expertise, so we go with what we've had the good luck with.
And what about Bunny Lake as a broodmare? How has she done so
she's
far?
Absolutely wonderful, phenomenal. Her baby filly is here today, and if she doesn't go too high, because we don't know, we're going to be in on her too. And yeah, she sold here when we ran her through the mixed sale as a 6-year-old, and that was a very sad day for me. My husband went hunting, couldn't even be here for it. And I watched her walk up the ramp right there, and my daughter, who was with me at the time, said, "Mommy, your face turned ashen white." And so after that, I said, okay, onward, you know?
Yeah, it's like the kids going away to the college, the empty nest
Oh,
syndrome.
I have that a lot, yeah.
Right? Well, Wendy Spring, great anecdotes there on Bunny Lake. She was sold right here 12 years ago as a yearling for anybody looking for a 3-year-old Payson filly or even older than that. So maybe we can do it again, and good luck to you and Skip and the whole family,
thanks
and
a lot.
maybe we'll keep it going this year.
Okay, I hope so. Thank you.
The Bow River 14-karat gold fine jewelry collection has some of the most unique custom equine jewelry designs. With the master craftsmanship of our designers, we provide a piece of jewelry you'll treasure for years to come. We use state-of-the-art equipment, hand finishing, and quality stones to give you the craftsmanship in a piece of jewelry that you will enjoy. Our designs seek to capture the world of horses and the relationship they have with their owners. Wearing one of these unique designs will reflect this.
Hi, I'm Art from Bow River. Come back and look at our new collection we have for this season. We're located in the Maclay Street lobby. When you come back to look at our jewelry, make sure you sign up for a $500 gift certificate, which we'll be giving away on Saturday.
So our first session at Harrisburg is in the books, and Holly, it's safe to say we are off to a solid start.
That's right. You know, day one at Harrisburg reminded me of the Breeders' Crown Night at Woodbine. It was supposed to be a really big event, and both exceeded expectations.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure and tune in tomorrow for more of the Black Book Today.